All right, Crystal here from ChristaCoDesign. I'm going to show you how to embroider on the laces for your football hat. And this is a technique that you might use for any number of hats and designs. You'll need your finished hat and a yarn needle and a length of white yarn. To thread your yarn needle, you'll just fold over, kind of pinch the rounded end, and shove it in there. Okay. Now to get our first stitch secure, we're just going to loop through the same stitch so that it kind of locks it. For this size hat, which is 3 to 6 months, there are about 4 rows over this section that I want to put it in. We have 6 rows, so I don't want it to go all the way to the white. So I'm going to start at this row and end at that row for my vertical stitch. Now it's tempting to go in between the stitches when you embroider, because that's what you do when you crochet, you go in the natural holes, but that can pull the stitches and leave it too loose in some instances. So for this one, we just have one single line, and so the holes will be too loose. So we're going to try to go in between stitches, and with the half double crochet, you can see right about in here. Sorry, the brown yarn is not the easiest to see. So above that loop and in between is what we're going to shoot for. So I'm finding the center, just have my hat flat with my seam on the back, my seam that looks so nice with the only chain one and the non-bulky color changes that I showed in the other video. Okay, so about here is my center, right? And so I'm going to come from the back side through this stitch here. And we might have to take it out and adjust it a few times, that's okay. Trying not to split yarn, but to work it in between, just like that. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to pull through till I have like a tail that I can easily weave away and not have to worry about getting loose. Okay, so to go back into the same, I'm going to go under this loop. So I've got a little white stitch there that's going to indicate where I come back. I got to come back right in the same spot, which can be hard to do from, again, try not to split yarn, but just work it in the same hole. There we go. Got it that time. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. So now I'm going to pull it tight. There's a little knot there, and my yarn is going to cover it. Okay, so now I'm going down, straight down if I can, and I don't want to go into the one right before, but the one above it. And we're going to get as close as we can to having them center lined up. There we go. All right, now I don't have to lock this one again because I'm going to continue using the same one, right? It doesn't matter what my design looks like on the back because it's at the inside of the hat. So if that felt too small and you wanted to go, you know, a little bit further down, you could on either. But since this is a little hat for a little guy, I'm not too worried about how getting it much bigger. So my yarn tail, or you know, my working yarn here is right on this end. So I'm going to find a spot to come up here. Okay, and here I am going through the hole because I have one on either side that I can see is going to give me an even stitch. Now I don't want to pull too tight because that will pull and contort it, and this bit is movable here. So same thing with that stitch, you want to keep it a little bit loose. Let me show you the back again. And then I'll just zigzag up here. And we'll go across this way. This one's going to be either a little smaller or a little bigger. See how our holes are just loose. So I'm gonna go there, but that looks like it's gonna be 2. So we'll go this way, and maybe we'll pull it a little tighter. There, that looks better. And then one more, kind of close to the top here. Okay, again, we're going through the natural space, the hole between stitches there. So that's going to make it too small. That looks like it's going to make it too, let's see, too wide, or too off center, really. So see how that makes it really tiny on that one, considerably so. So we're going to have to go somewhere else for that one. The problem with sewing on hats is it's in the round, which makes them, uh-oh, where am I at right here? The stitches don't line up as nicely as they do. Each row is a little, you know, diagonal to the others, so that can make it tricky to find. If you're embroidering onto crocheting the worked flat in rows, it's a little bit simpler on where to put everything. So let's see if we can get like in this stitch and in that stitch, and that'll give us a medium line, kind of similar to our other ones. There we go. That's kind of high though. Oops, there we go. That's a good width, but it is a little high on our vertical line. So I could easily just go back and straighten that, bring that line up here, and then that way my vertical is just a little bit longer on that side, and then I'll know exactly where to put my cross stripes on my laces there. And that is how you embroider onto your hat. You're going to need to tie off and weave away these. Now to weave them in the back, we don't have a lot of white to hide them on, so I usually just weave them into, tie them off and then weave them into one loop of the brown a few times, get it locked away, make sure it doesn't show on this side when you do it. And that is how you add on your laces. Takes a little bit of finesse and messing with, but it's so cute, so worth it. All right, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more videos.